Nezuko Advanced Demon Form is here. She's the latest DLC character for Hinokami Chronicles and a part of the Season Pass, so it's time to check her out and see if she's worth the money. In this review, we're gonna look at her entire moveset, check out some combos, some tricks you can pull off with her, and ultimately see if she fits your playstyle. But before we get to Nezuko, there has been a patch that finally added group matches. You can join a room with up to 8 players, you can set some rules, and then you can actually spectate each other. Spectator mode is finally here. Now, we need to get rid of that. They could have put this text anywhere on screen, but they chose to put it right in the middle. It's like they don't want us to do tournaments with this game. Anyway, the PC community is gonna mod this out pretty quickly. Unfortunately, we are stuck with it on console. It's not a big deal, but CC2, this seems like a quick fix. Either put it somewhere less intrusive or just get rid of it. We don't need it. And you don't need unnecessary spam in your inbox or unwanted marketing calls, and that's why today's video is brought to you by Incogni. Incogni is the service that sweeps the internet to find your personal data. Your personal data may have leaked and is now being stored in a database somewhere, either for marketing purposes or sometimes something even more nefarious. Incogni is the solution that requests the removal of your data from these databases, which is something that you could do on your own, but it will probably take you years to do so. Incogni does the messy work for you. All you gotta do is create an account, tell them what to look for, and then they deal with everything. If that sounds interesting to you, the first 100 people to use code Globku with the link below will get a 20% discount. Incogni is brought to you by the guys at Surfshark, so you know that they understand about data protection and privacy. This is what happens when you navigate the internet without a VPN. Your info gets leaked somewhere, and then you're getting newsletters that you didn't sign up for. You're getting marketing calls from people trying to sell you vacuum cleaners, or sometimes it has nothing to do with using a VPN. Sometimes PlayStation Network gets hacked, and your account info gets leaked. Incogni makes me feel so much safer because I know there's someone out there actively removing my info from these data aggregators. I created my account back in February, and today my private data has been removed from 14 total data aggregators, with 24 others in progress. So once again, the first 100 people to use code Globku with the link below will get 20% off of Incogni, and thank you Incogni for sponsoring this video. Before we take a look at her attacks, let's take a look at Nezuko getting attacked. Nezuko has a 1.15 times damage multiplier, which means she takes the same damage as her fellow demon Susamaru and slayers like Rengoku, Zenitsu, or Makomo. That's not terrible, especially considering she's a demon with a good amount of health regeneration whenever she boosts or surges, especially when she surges. She gets a very healthy chunk back, plus a good amount of white health to regenerate over time. But enough about Nezuko getting beat up, let's start pressing some buttons. Starting with her normal attack, she has a great jab. If you tilt the stick while attacking, it moves forward a lot. This is Nezuko's jab 2.0, one of the absolute best in the way. It hits the opponent from very far away. Her attack combo is pretty fast, which is great if you're in a hurry because your opponent is getting their subs back. The neutral finisher is just a normal kick. The up finisher knocks the opponent upwards, allowing you to follow up with a jump or dash, and it actually deals more damage than the neutral combo, which is not always the case. And the down finisher has Nezuko jumping really high up to kick the opponent into a hard knockdown. While in boost or surge, Nezuko also gets a cinematic finisher that looks like this. Moving on to her jumping attacks, Nezuko mains will be sad to learn that her jumping attacks aren't as good as regular Nezuko's. You cannot go from attacks into jumping attacks in your combo anymore. In fact, she seems to have a bit of a Sabito problem, where some of her jumping attacks will connect while others whiff if you just do it in the opponent's face. But in a regular combo, they are pretty decent. They deal normal damage for jumping attacks, so overall, they're pretty regular. The dive kick is really good though. It reminds me of the other Nezuko's dive kick, except this one starts a yellow combo. And trust me, she needs it. She doesn't have that many yellow combo starters. That said, it is 2 hits, which doesn't help with combo scaling, and the damage is a bit lower than usual, which is why combos like these don't seem like they're worth it anymore. But it's a great combo starter. Her strong attack is pretty normal too. Nezuko lunges forward a good distance. It is a single hit, which is great for damage, and the charge time is standard. Just like most strong attacks in this game, it is unsafe if blocked, and as far as strong attacks go, I think this one is pretty normal. Finally, we have her grab, and the grab has decent range. I don't think it goes quite as far as Hinokami Tanjiro or the other version of Nezuko, and it has a huge recovery on whiff. This is very unsafe. However, it is now the highest damaging grab in the entire game, dealing almost 2000 damage to characters with a 1.0 damage multiplier. A grab this strong needed some downsides, so I understand why that recovery is so long. With that, we're ready to move on to her skills. Before looking at anything specific, I should point out that every single one of her skills starts a red combo. She can get high damage from pretty much any situation, but that high damage is is gonna come mostly from her demon skills. So if she doesn't have those, her damage is actually pretty low. She ends up being similar to Akaza in that regard. But let's start with the skill button. Once you press it, Nezuko will unleash a series of 3 kicks damaging the opponent, both on the ground and in the air. The aerial version does deal slightly more damage, but in general, this ability is a combo finisher. You cannot cancel this move after starting it, making it very unsafe to put into combos if the opponent can escape, because they can straight up punish you if they time that escape right. And this move can't be cancelled into anything else, not even an ultimate, so it's best to put it at the end of your combos unless you're willing to spend those demon bars. That's the only thing that will keep the combo going after this. On block, this ability can also be punished with a well-timed push block, and since you can't cancel into anything, this is a real punish, nothing you can do about it. Something fun about this ability though is if you're near a wall, you can pick up the combo for free. So this might lead to some stage-specific combos. I'm very excited to see how this develops. Next up, her tilt skill looks like Akaza's Annihilation, and it is pretty similar on the ground, except that it has no armor. But it's a skill that you can use for a quick approach. Not only is this move plus on block, if the opponent doesn't push block it, it leads into a true block string. So it's an ability that can keep an opponent locked down and be very oppressive. In a combo, this ability can be linked into pretty much all of her skills, but not into her attacks again. Which means that once you start putting Nezuko's skills into a combo, you have to keep going with other skills. There is one exception to this, but that exception costs a demon bar. So usually when going for combos without demon bars, I let my attack combo go for as long as possible before I start spending meter. In the air, this ability is a dive punch. Personally, I don't like using it outside of combos because it's so similar to our jumping tilt attack, and that starts a yellow combo, unlike this. The jumping tilt skill starts a red combo just like all of our other skills, and you can't even attack afterwards. You have to link it with another skill. The one thing the skill does better than their jumping tilt is damage. So unless I'm extending combos, I try not to use this at all. Wrapping up our normal skills is the drop kick with guard skill. This is an invincible move. It has very good range, decent hitbox, and reminds everyone of Phoenix Flash from Hinokami Tanjiro. But it has 2 major differences. One, it cannot be cancelled like Phoenix Flash can, so once you press it, you're gonna do it, you cannot stop it. And 2, it doesn't combo into anything at all. Not attacks, not skills, not demon skills. The only thing you can do from a guard skill is throw your ultimate. And finishing combos with guard skill into ultimate is pretty optimal, but outside of that, this is purely a reversal tool to get you out of a tight spot and get some quick damage in. And of course on block, it is very, very unsafe. And those are Nezuko's skills, but this being a demon, that means she has 2 bonus skills, and these are what make the character work. First up, the demon skill, Fiery Slash. This is your go-to combo finisher if you are spending demon bars. It deals insane damage, but also it just finishes a combo. You cannot even throw an ultimate after this. On block, it's also a very powerful ability as it deals a ton of chip damage and guard damage too. Also, it's pretty safe on block because even if the opponent pushes you back, they still have to block the flames that come afterwards. Do keep in mind though, if you're too far from your opponent, the flames won't trigger. Nezuko will just slash the air and that will be the end of that. So to make the most out of this, make sure you are in range and make sure your opponent cannot push you back before you activate it. And to wrap things up, we have the Tilt Demon skill, Heal Bash on steroids. This is Nezuko's best ability by far. First, it's a full screen teleport. Nezuko will show up at the opponent's location and heal bash them. This move is also armored after the teleport, but it has a pretty long startup, so it's not really useful as a counter if the opponent is in your face. They will most likely interrupt it. But on hit, you can link this ability into anything, including dashing into the air for free. As a bonus, if you do this ability in a combo, time will freeze, which makes this ability very easy to combo into. In fact, it's the only thing that can pick up the combo after Nezuko's neutral skill, the kicks. This time freeze only happens in combos. If you do it in neutral, time just keeps going normally, and the opponent might dodge it by just running accidentally. Time also freezes in another very specific scenario though, which is after you push block a homing dash. This makes it very easy for Nezuko to punish incoming dashes, which is great, but it doesn't work if you push block opponent's attacks, skills, or anything else. In fact, if they have an assist on the field, it seems that time doesn't stop either. Now on block, this ability is super safe. It's actually plus on block, and it also deals a ton of guard damage and chip. So it's another incredibly oppressive tool in her kit. The only way to deal with this Tilt Demon skill is 1, to dodge it and punish, but the window is pretty small and your distance must be perfect. And 2, just parry it. The activation is pretty long, so if you're looking out for it, you can just parry this very easily. That said, if you're unpredictable with this ability, this is your go-to with Nezuko for guard pressure, for for combos, for everything. This ability solves the character. And before we talk about her playstyle and some tips, we gotta wrap her moveset up with her ultimate. Blood Demon Art Exploding Blood Rupture has a really good activation, very similar to the regular version of Nezuko, and if it connects, it plays this whole animation. And now that we know her moves, here are some tips on how to play Awakened Nezuko. Not gonna lie to you guys, it's not gonna be easy to play this character at high level. She has some awesome traits that you can take advantage of, but also too many losing matchups. For instance, her strengths are big damage, a great grab, good guard pressure, lots of special meter, and incredible health regeneration. Every time you touch an opponent, if you have demon bars, you're dealing between 50 to 60% damage depending on who you're fighting against. This means a match against Awakened Nezuko is always a two-touch game. She doesn't need a lot of openings to win. Furthermore, every time she lands a combo, look at that special bar going up. She builds so much special meter with her combos, so boosting and surging multiple times during a match is just a given. And that's gonna give Nezuko more demon bars to deal more big damage and big health recovery, because on surge, she heals about as much as Akaza. The thing is, in Demon Slayer, there's a little thing called escapes, so you actually need 2 touches plus however many escapes the opponent has. And a lot of Nezuko's moves are very unsafe if the opponent escapes mid-combo with the right timing, so it can be scary to go for max damage all the time. Her guard pressure, although good, is never guaranteed. There are a lot of holes that the opponent can exploit with a parry, a reversal, or a strong attack. Nezuko does have the advantage in these situations, not only because her moves are great on block, but also because she has one of the best grabs in the game. But one good read and say goodbye to your demon bars, cause you're gonna need them to escape. Good Nezuko players are gonna need to take full advantage of these character strengths, but at the same time, even if they play at their best, they're gonna have to deal with some of the terrible matchups this game has for her. Question: why is it okay for demons to have projectile attacks that you can't even dash through? The answer is simple, because as a Slayer, you can call your assist and win neutral that way. Nezuko doesn't have an assist, and even though her tilt demon skill looks like a good way to deal with zoners, I mean it just teleports, that slow activation leaves you wide open for far too long. She really struggles in neutral, and not only against demons, against Slayers too. Switch tech is incredibly rough on her without an ability to delete assists or to put some distance between you and your opponent. So even if she only needs 2 or 3 touches to finish a round, getting those touches is incredibly hard. The big reason for me is not only her skills, but also she has a level 1 dash speed, which is the slowest in the game. And for a demon without many neutral skills, that's tough. Oh yeah, that move that looks like Annihilation, it loses to dashes, so GG. But I do think she's an extremely fun character. Blowing up an opponent's health bar by exhausting all your resources is so satisfying. And not everything has to be competitively viable, so if you think you're down for this all or nothing playstyle with a rush down heavy character, then by all means, Nezuko is a great DLC. But if you just want to win matches, just pick Akaza. He does a lot of the same stuff, just better. And that's my review for Awakened Nezuko. If you've tried out the character, let me know what you thought of her in the comments down below. And don't forget about today's sponsor. The first 100 people to sign up for Incogni with the link below will get a 20% discount. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku and I'll see you next time. Bye!